I want to talk about a phrase I hear, and you won't hear me use the word hate very often, but I hate this phrase. You should fight for your marriage. It's bullshit. Okay? If you're not subscribed, do me a favor, please hit the subscribe button. I'm in a men's group where somebody's divorce finalized, and a very needy, nice guy came on and said, doesn't mean you can't still fight for your marriage. She cheated on him. The most pathetic thing that man could have said is you can still fight for your marriage on the day the divorce finalized with a cheating spouse? Why would you fight for garbage? Because that's what that relationship was. And we're at fault too sometimes. Our version 1.0 relationships, we didn't handle well. We weren't showing up as the kind of man she needed. So don't fight for your marriage. Work on yourself. Work on your marriage. Are you both committed to the marriage? Now, this is tricky because what happens is men need to work on themselves first and lead the transformation from the dying version 1.0 relationship that's not worth saving until the version 2.0 loving, connected, and deeply intimate relationship. And that involves his self-work and going first. And the nice guys all complain, why do I have to go first? Why do I have to do the date? And why do I have to do? Because you have the honor of leading in the relationship. Okay? So work on the marriage, work on yourself, and see if she responds. Because what happens when I work with guys, about half the time, she likes the changes. He finds himself again and becomes a man she's attracted to again. And then she starts working on herself. And this is a long-term process. I tell men expect it to be 18 to 24 months. You know if she's going to turn towards you before then, is the reality. But you can't think there's a quick fix. There's no such thing as a quick fix to this. And it will take her sometimes 6 months to trust the changes she's seeing. So, and then if she commits to work on the relationship, great, okay? But nice guys often don't want to acknowledge when it's time to let go of a relationship. When it's one-sided. She continues to basically be a roommate, doing nothing to do with you, rarely with the kids, and basically you are just a convenience, both financial and logistically. 2, if there's abuse, whether it's verbal, physical, okay? And if you watched any of my videos, you know, if she's assaulting you, call the police, have her arrested, file a protective order, file for divorce. You're in your best situation when that happens with an abusive partner. Don't give her passes on that. And then chronic or repeated infidelity. That's not a relationship worth saving. Yet there's a lot of guys who think, and we see it all the time in the men's groups. She cheated multiple times, I forgave her, blah, 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 tried to make this work. It's the repeated or the long term. There's nothing to work on. There's nothing to save. You need to reduce your losses. And I see this, guys. They get to 18, 20 years in, and she's cheated repeatedly, going back a decade. Now they have to give half of their retirement at 20 years instead of half of their retirement at 10 years. Now, instead of being free and growing themselves, their life, their wealth, on their own, they're writing a bigger check. And let me tell you, I got a lot of guys who they're like, holy cow, my finances recovered so quickly after the divorce. And there are some that it does not, especially if you have stay-at-home moms. So, and then the final would be when not to try to save it, when there's no respect or contempt. Either of those two things. And she's disrespectful in public, in front of others, to you. Why would you stay? So Don't be one of those guys who feels like you've got to fight for your marriage. You know, the Beastie Boys says fight for your right to party, and I'm all for that. But fighting for your marriage? No. It's a fool's game. Work on yourself, work on your marriage, and know when to end it. But when you work on yourself first and you lead the transformation, about half the time, guys end up with a version 2.0, loving, connected, deeply intimate relationship. And they get past that disillusionment stage, and life is really good. So it's up to you. My contact information is down below if you'd like to have a talk. But don't tolerate the intolerable. Don't accept the unacceptable, guys. And understand when to say when. All right? We'll talk to you later.